Hey, I would say everyone, but this channel only has very few subscribers or watchers, which really haven't, once again, I mentioned a lot, don't go out of my way to really chase down a lot of what viewers. If you happen to stumble across this, well, I don't really apologize. I always state I am a militant CFer. And you see gray. I am 46 years old and I have about 30% of my lung function left. I'm betting it's going to be less this next time I go in to see the doctors because I don't do these steady declines like a lot of people. I seem to go there and bam, and big jumps. I hold steady for a long time, then big drops. I didn't get this way because I'm an overly healthy CF person. Take a decently strong level of enzymes. I have a lot of the digestive issues. I have adult onset arthritis to do with my CF. I have a lot of joint issues, tendon issues. My lungs, like I said, are at 30%, but I've also been in the gym 7 days a week forever. But I was on Facebook lately, this week, and I have a hard time going on these CF Facebook pages. It just seems like 90% of the people on most of them, not all of them. There are a few upbeat ones, including I found one lately, where the people on there make me look like a lazy prick. They do. And kudos to every one of those CF people. Hey, study boy. But there was one particular one of the bigger CF pages, and I'm going to be a little disrespectful possibly, but this little chickie poo on there, her statement, I just disagreed with the statement and it started a minor shitstorm. Her statement, no joke, and she wasn't kidding, is since all CF people or CF patients spend 90% of our lives bedridden, what do you, I like to, and I like to read. What does everybody recommend to read? Well, I spend all this time, blah, 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 in bed. You know, you get it. My whole problem was the first part. Since all CF patients, since all of us as CFers spend 90% of our lives bedridden. Okay, as some of you know, once again, I'm a militant CFer. I will call people out that are lazy asses. Just because you have an illness doesn't mean you're not a lazy prick. I've seen tons of lazy CF people. CF people go in the hospital and make the nurses, even though they're more capable than I am, help shower them, wash their hair, fetch them stuff. They throw their little snotty things on the floor and the nurses have to pick them up, stuff like that. They do the bare minimum. They don't go down to physical therapy most time. The physical therapists have to wake them up to even get them try to do their PT. Stuff like that. They do the bare minimum. Yet these are the people who automatically will spout this little gem. We all fight in our own way. We're all fighters. Wrong. If you do the bare effing minimum, mostly what somebody forces you to do, you're not a fighter. You're the average citizen out here who does their bare lazy minimum to do anything. You're the person that's the fat person that sits at home and whines, well, I don't want to exercise, while they're stuffing their face with bonbons watching 8 hours of Friends. You're that person, just you happen to have an illness. Doesn't make you noble. Doesn't make you a fighter. Do I consider myself a fighter? Yes. Is that arrogant? No. Been around long enough now to see who is fighters and who isn't. You can see it after a while. After, 40 plus years of fighting this crap, I think I get a say. I've been around to see a lot of you come and go. I've seen the ones that not only are still here, but are kicking my butt and seen how they've done it. I've seen the ones that are gone, long gone. The ones who were better off than me are long gone. And what happened? The platitudes some of these people on the Facebook pages put out. It's just luck. Exercise has nothing to do with it. Nutrition has nothing to do with it. It's all just luck. Bull. I have pulled myself out of horrible infections that would have put me in the hospital by myself here at home. Just lately, I pulled myself out of a pretty bad funk. Still not feeling perfect. Still may end up in the hospital, but won't be a very long stay because of it. I upped my therapies. I went to the gym more. I kept track of everything more. I added a few things, talked to my doctor about a few oral antibiotics, did whatever I could, and really pushed it. Pushed hard. It was so hard that my treadmill night is going to suck, not just because the lung drop a little bit, but because pushing so hard doing therapies, I think my diaphragm is now tight and tired. Make it even harder to breathe. But I'm still here. After 46 years, and when I started out, there were a lot of people much better off than me who were decaying much slower than me. Where we parted ways, and don't say it's just luck, because boy, that'd be the luckiest damn bit of life I'd ever had. Because I've seen about 30 plus people I knew at that time, and many were decaying slower than me. Where that switched is when I threw myself into fitness. I'm not a fitness nut. I'm not some health nut that eats flaxseed and gluten-free stuff. But I do go to the gym 6, 7 days a week. I do cardio 6 to 7 days a week. And I'm not talking the pussy little, I can wear blue jeans and cowboy boots walking on the treadmill crap, or walking on the treadmill where I can still have a conversation with somebody. Walking on the treadmill or running or whatever I can handle hard enough where it is everything I got to keep my breath, to keep my O2 at acceptable levels to the doctor, and sometimes slightly lower. So for this chicky poo to sit there and say all CFers are bedridden 90% of our lives. Now here's where I kind of connect this. Even a lot of the lazy CFers I've seen out there don't spend 90% of their lives bedridden. And that's the only problem I had originally was that part of her question. I don't mind her looking for books or anything else. But I start telling other impressionable people, especially young CFers, kids or parents new to this, that the CFer has to spend 90% of their lives bedridden. Don't ever give that idea. My parents never did that. My parents gave me a chance to be as normal as possible. Sometimes at my own detriment, but mostly not. Sorry, I don't know what Paul's disabled there. That was interesting. So my original comment back was, all CFers bedridden 90% of the time? Really? I don't think so. And they said, yep. I'm like, no. And they started arguing with me. And then others jumped in on me. I happened to look these people up. Not a one of these little shits was over 20 years old. So what I'm fighting is millennials. This is the trophy generation. And now you can see it seeps even into those of us with illnesses. I've seen a lot of laziness, but I never really connected the trophy generation to even illness people. The parents that raised the trophy generation of lazy little spoiled brat, self-centered kids who just get kudos and pats on the butt for showing up also got that with their illness. Now they've raised a generation of these little lazy craps. A lot of CFers now aren't living as long as they should with today's medical technology. Are CFers living longer than ever? Yes. But there's a problem. Many of them are some of us, the older CFers, that are living longer. A lot of the younger CFers aren't living as long as a lot of us are, or may not live as long as a lot of us older ones are. We started out with a work ethic. Push everything you got. Use it. Don't capitulate to being bedridden feeling. And I'm not saying all the younger generation are like that, but I've run into so many. Ones that rely only on the new medications. Medications aren't everything. Solid exercise is a monstrous deal. Good nutrition. It makes a big difference. There's a lot of younger CFers that aren't living as long, or if they're living long, they're not living as well or doing it as quality as a lot of us older ones now. And by older, I mean usually 30 plusers. A lot of us been around a long time. We're not the millennial generation. We escaped that whole, just barely for some of us, that whole I deserve a trophy just for showing up, or I have an illness, so I deserve special treatment. No. Even at my lung level now, I do not have a handicapped placard for my car. It took an actual force to put me on any type of disability. When I had 60, 70, 50, 40% of my lungs, even in the 30s, I was solid working full time. I run into CF people who have 70% of the lungs, haven't worked a day in their lives, but whine about how much they get on their disability checks. You do realize your disability depends on how much you pay in. That helps. I paid in a 30 plus year of career, and at times I had 2 or 3 jobs at once. That's a work ethic. We put it into everything. I know other older ones, many others, they're usually, actually, most of them are 31 plus, that are ass busters who do stuff. Get out there, karaoke, sing, hunt, try to hike, climb, urban exploration, you name it. But do not, I am getting a little closer and closer to not recommending 90+% of these CF pages, especially the biggest ones. Half the people are just on there to be nasty, and they think it's their right. They'll say stupid stuff like, we're not here to be warm and tender and fuzzy, so you're just on there to be a dick? What is this? I have an illness, so I just get to be a prick site? I mean, what is it? I just am getting to the point where it's hard to recommend them. Because maybe a militancy effort, but I'm not as big a dick as it looks like here. I'm a very upbeat person. I use my CF, as an excuse as little as possible. Even then, when I have to mention it, it's not an excuse, it's just a fact by that time. I've been out urban exploring with friends. Great friends who've been very understanding about my health problem. I have to take breaks going up steps urban exploring. Certain bad days I run out of air. I've had a rough panic attack on a few. I wear my mask, and my mask is even harder to breathe in some places. These are people that wait up for me, but they understand I don't use it as an excuse. I'm still out there. I push as much as I can. I don't make comments like 90% of CFers are bedridden, or all CFers are bedridden 90% of their lives. Even if she is a lazy CFer, really, 90% of your life in bed, that's a choice. Geez, you should be able to beat that just by getting up, going to the bathroom, and feeding your cat. If you spend 90% in bed, you got to be in the lower 5% of CF patients. Now, I've known some of them that didn't spend 90% in bed. Once again, I don't go out trying to shop this channel around. If you watch this, you like to share. If you're a parent that wants to see an upbeat, I'm cranky, but I'm upbeat about CF. My saying is, I have CF, CF doesn't have me. That's not a lazy, hateful, motto for CF. I'm realistic. I know it's a degenerative condition, but I'm not going to let it stop me from having a life. I've had a hell of a life. I've seen 48 out of the 50 United States by vehicle, taken trips with friends, trips with my wife, trips with other friends for urban exploring. I've taken trips with my family. Even a couple years ago, we stayed at a place that was 9,000 feet above sea level. I was in my mid-upper 30s percentile. I was exercising at a gym up there. Yeah, pull socks on and watching. But I don't let it stop me. And I don't make comments like bedridden 90% of the time. I couldn't imagine my life with 90% of it removed. As my wife said, as she saw that comment that I showed her, she's like, you wouldn't be married right now. You would never have met me. She's like, I never would have married somebody who was bedridden like that and given up. And yes, Sonny boy, it is a lot of time. 90% is an excruciating amount of time, and it's stupid. It's stupid to even say that. That one just really got my goat. Along with the people We all fight in our own way. We're all fighters. No, we're not. Just like the average citizen out there. Some people don't fight. Study boy, I'm going to apologize if I say anything out of line here, but the guy in the chat right now, the one guy who's here right now, or maybe there's another person silent. Study boy NZ is missing. He has one leg amputated. It's not the whole thing, but he's out there urban exploring. His legs stop him in life at all. I've known other amputees who use it as an excuse, who do jack shit. It's the same with CF. Just because you have something doesn't mean you have to let it limit you. Sure, it may keep you from getting the penultimate of whatever you want to do. It may limit you to a certain level or point. But why not get to that point and use that? Use everything you got. Just from a older CFer person, point of view, don't go onto a major CF site where young CFers are starting to come on there, or parents of new CF just found out they had a CF child, and say stupid crap like all of us are bedridden 90% of the time. Don't say we all fight when you talk about how lazy you are, how you don't like to going to the gym just because I don't like how everybody looks at you when you cough. Just tell them you have cystic fibrosis or a lung condition. That's what I do. It's not that hard. Embarrassment should not outrule death. Another difference in the younger generation compared to the older. The older generation, for those of us that go to the gym or do things, somebody looks at us, we just tell them, got bad lungs, got cystic fibrosis, have a lung condition. Or we just don't give a rat's ass what they think. Younger generation are the ones that went from sticks and stones may break my bones to words hurt. And that's spread over to our illness, unfortunately. All I can say is no, we're not all fighters. And no, all of us aren't bedridden 90% of our lives. The command on this chat right now, Study Boy NZ, if I had been bedridden 90% of my life, I never would have met him. I met him through urban exploring friends in New Zealand. So now I met him and talked to him. I do a chat show with him. There's so much of my life. If I spent 90% of my time in bed or capitulated that much, I never would have done. I just don't, be careful what you say. Be careful what you spread to lower, younger people. How's that? Or parents. Don't give a parent that idea. Help them give up. Maybe try to be a little more upbeat about your own illness. Or how about just not looking for attention and their excuses? Study boy, it's something another CFer said on one of the major CF pages, and a bunch of people are agreeing with her. And I've seen other people make comments like that also. They just automatically capitulate that they just can't do anything because they have CF. But their lung function is bad, so they can't do anything. They just got to lay around because they feel bad or whatever. Hey, I don't feel good a lot either. Heck, even tonight, I'm pretty tight. I've done a lot of therapies. Talking like this tightens my diaphragm even more. I know my gym workout tonight is going to be living hell. But I'm going to do it anyway. And I'm going to take these 2 ibuprofen here to try to bring the inflammation down a little. And bring some of the pain down so I can get to the gym. Heck, ibuprofen. Which I understand I can't take after I have a transplant, which I have done 2 years worth of testing for transplant stuff. Some of you did the testing quicker, but I was working full-time most of that time. I know there's a lot of changes coming. But I do know with facts, I've set myself up for the best possible outcome of a transplant. I don't have to learn much. My transplant team, I keep journals now of my CF. I exercise incessantly. I keep track of my dietary needs. I write so much down. I'm set. They don't have to teach me things. It's all a habit in me. I've seen people I know get transplants. They get in the habit of, they exercise, do this, do that, but then they get out of it. It wasn't a built-up lifetime habit. You got to have that habit before ingrained in you to keep it. Or a lot of times it dies off. You get lackadaisical, lazy, forgetful about it. And that doesn't work out. I've seen a lot of transplanted people from different places die because they don't do what they need to do or keep doing it. Of course, I've seen others where they did everything they were supposed to. It doesn't always work. But I have a few friends that got transplants that are doing amazing. Of course, those are the ones I like to look to and hope I can model after. I've given my body the best amount of strength possible. I may be older. I'm in better shape than CFers a lot younger than me. They're better off. I'm stronger. I'm faster. I'm still able. They don't have to train my body or do physical therapy for any type of things after or after a transplant. Just don't. If you're gonna sell yourself down the river, don't do it to other CFers. Don't get on the pages and crap on everybody else's chances. You want to be a Debbie Downer? Fine, do it in your privacy of your own home. Don't go on there and be a crap. Keep it to yourself. At least try to give other people a chance. Or is that jealousy also? Somebody might be doing better. Because I have seen a lot of CF people jump on others who are doing better. My favorite one is I got people who chew my ass every time I say something, including on this last argument. This is the one that always comes up from somebody. Well, you don't know how her lung function is compared to yours. And I'm like, well, yeah, but you also don't know what mine is compared to hers or his or whatever. Invariably, the person goes and lists their lung percentage. 80% of the time, they're higher than me by a good amount. Then I list mine. They either call me a liar or they shut up and just go away and disappear. People have asked me to put my PFTs up to prove it, and I have. Don't do that. If not for yourself, don't go out to purposely crap on somebody else's chances of living. That's something I don't understand. Exactly, study boy. Live your life to the best of your ability. Don't feel sorry for yourself and don't look for special treatment any more than you need it. Sure, I do need special treatment. I need hospital stays and to my past employers, all of them. There's another little issue I'd like to get out. CFers always whining about their employers. Why can't find an employer to just let me do this and this and this? Bull. I've worked for international corporations. I've worked for small mom and pop shops. I worked for middle-sized businesses. They all worked with my CF fine. Through my whole working career, from the age of 15, or was it 14, when I got my first job, my parents had to sign a tax sheet so I could work. Started paying taxes at 14 or 15. Clear up to I was forced to stop last year. That's a long work career. And every person had no problem working with my CF. My doctor's visits, my hospital stays. But I didn't go out of my way to ask for special upon special upon special either. I've seen CF people go, I just don't feel good today. And I wanted to call in, and my boss said, if I don't come in, I'm fired. Well, yeah. A lot of people go to work not feeling good. And sorry, so do we. And I'm not talking about dragging some effing illness to work that's going to kill us. I'm talking about just hurting. If some of us don't feel like it, feel good, we go to work. The stuff I've seen about people, while they've whined about employers. Okay, an employer can bend, flex, and maybe be helpful to you, but an employer can't bend over, stick their head up their own butt for you. They can't have you there if you can't do the job. I've seen a lot of CFers expect to keep a job even though they can't do it. They want to be gone 3 out of every 4 weeks, but expect to have that job. You can't do that. If you can't do the job, don't take the job. You can't expect too much of an employer. They still have a job that needs to be filled and done. So to all my past employers, like I said, the corporate ones, the middle-sized ones, the international ones, the mom and pop shops, the small private shops, the other businesses I've worked for, thank you very much. I appreciate what you did. I appreciate every little bit of bend you could give me in my jobs. I never bitch at you. I didn't have the right to. I took a job that you advertised. It was my job to be able to do that job. The fact that you were willing to work so much with me says a lot about employers in America. Probably the world, really. I know this vlog has wandered, but these are some things that really bothered me lately. A lot of it on Facebook. People just angry. Oh, I'm in bed. Oh, I just have to be in bed. I just can't get up and handle the world. Really? Wow. And a lot of you are young. If you make it to my age, because the medications haven't improved enough, even a lot of you who don't do jack shit may make it my age. It doesn't get any better, folks. Then you get all the stuff that goes with being 46 years old and the CF. If you can't handle it when you're 20, 25, with 60, 70% of your lungs left, or 40 or 50, I think you're going to be at my age with, 28 to 30%. I don't think you'll make it here if you're already acting like that now. Medication or not. Yes, I know this will annoy some people. Oh, you're just an angry little bastard. Not really. I actually spend most of my life very happy, very driven. When I get off here, I'm going to go over and try to do a short live stream on my main channel. All unplanned, just off the cuff. Let's do it. No matter what, you just got to push. For parents, for some younger parentheses, don't coddle your child. Let them be as normal as possible. Push them to be as normal as possible. Push them to any type of physical stress. Work those lungs, work what you've got while you've got it, and you'll keep it longer. Sure, everybody has a different level of decline with CF. Everybody could get an infection here and there anywhere. But it doesn't matter. You will hang on to it longer than you would have by not. Find something they enjoy, parents. I don't care if it's wrestling, volleyball, weightlifting, treadmill, running outside, anything. Something very, very pushing to the cardio that they enjoy. Do it with them if you can. Get them in the habit young. I did. And when I started doing that, that's when I parted from the others at my level. And I've even had doctors go back and look during some studies I was involved in. People that I was in the hospital with when I was a child. The exact time I parted during an exercise study between me and 18 other people I knew at that age. Went down to the exact month I started exercising regularly. My decline slowed very heavily after that. Will it work for everybody? No. Will it work for a certain percentage for everybody? Yes. But it may not be as much. Maybe more. But go out and do it. Parents, encourage your CF child. And to anybody see out there you're a child, with today's medicines, if you exercise, take care of yourself, and I'm saying eating like a health nut, enjoy your Cheetos and soda, but, enough protein and stuff. Eat what mom puts on the dinner table sometimes. It's good stuff. It helps out. You're going to have a long life if you do things right. Hell, sometimes even if you don't anymore. But a lot longer and a lot happier if you do. To any of the rest of you that are older, especially my age, kudos for getting there. Most of us got there by work ethic that is it's much less now. Some still have it, many don't. For those of you younger CFers that may be annoyed at this, or maybe I made you think, try as much as you can with what you've got. Exactly, Steady Boy. Get them into something they're interested in. Steady Boy, normal body started to hurt a bit at my age. Exactly. I don't know how old you are, Steady Boy. I think you're younger than me, though, aren't you? I've earned every bit of gray. You know, when in high school, I grew this goatee. I had gray in high school, so I shaved it. So I've always kind of had the gray, but the last couple of years, it's really come on a little more. But yeah, I've got all the foibles of a 46-year-old man who's done a physical jobs a lot of his life. And then also add the CF. Yay. But yes, you're right. Bodies start to hurt at this age. And then get them to something they're interested in. Exactly. Something. There's always something you can find. Hey, maybe even urban exploration. Or be a YouTuber. Just be careful if you're a YouTuber. Get up and do something once in a while. Remember the exercise. So I'll be at the gym in about an hour, hour and a half. And I'll be there at 2, 3 a.m. on super late Friday night, or what you call early Saturday morning sometimes, because there's less people. So you've also learned that. As I've gotten worse and more susceptible, 24-hour gyms are your friend. There's no excuse these days to say you can't get to a 24-hour gym for a 30-minute to a 50-minute workout of some type. But thanks, Steady Boy NZ. Anybody that happens to see this, if you have any questions for me, whether you have CF or don't, feel free to contact me. Leave messages here, or you can contact me at exploringwithcf@gmail.com. If you don't like my message, let me know. I don't mind critique. I'm not that thin-skinned. Will I agree with you? Maybe. Maybe not. Maybe I'll think you're one of the whiny little brats that is fat mad I'm hurting your little feelings. Maybe you'll see it differently. Maybe you'll change my mind a little. Honestly, I kind of doubt it. I've been able to self-examine all this time. I'm very good at that. I don't trust myself. I ask for a lot of people around me to watch me. Make sure I stay even-keeled. Keeps me also centrist mostly in my political beliefs and a lot of other things. But all I can say is keep breathing, everybody. Thank you, Steady Boy NZ. I am going to get out of here and get my other stuff done and get to the gym and breathe as much as I can for as long as I can and do as much as I can for as long as possible. Especially since there's so much more I want to see and do. For now, I'll do it with these lungs. Someday, hopefully I'll do it with new lungs. And get out there and use the heck out of those as long as those work for me. But don't just rush to a transplant either. So, with that, I am out of here. Thank you, Steady Boy NZ. I will talk to you all later. And don't give up. And remember, I have CF, and CF doesn't have me. Don't let it have you either. See ya.